I'm going to tell a joke that I think some of you know, but I'm going to tell it anyway. A Jewish man is shipwrecked on a deserted island. 10 years pass. Then a passing ship notices his campfire and stops to rescue him. And when the captain comes ashore, the castaway thanks her profusely and offers to give her a tour of his little island. And the captain is very impressed that the man has lived there and survived there. But she also notices that the man has built 2 separate synagogue buildings. Why did you build 2? She asks him. Well, he explains, pointing to one of them. This is the synagogue I go to every day, and I pray to God and I connect with my tradition. And that shul is the one I wouldn't step foot in. I'm curious, how many of you are familiar with this joke, just by a raise of hands? Okay, I've heard it many times, and in fact, I just saw it on a list published by The Ford of the top 10 classic Jewish jokes. This was number 2. And the joke always makes me laugh, and this week, I thought about it again and began to wonder, what makes it funny? I think its humor is rooted in the truth that sometimes synagogue communities have fractured, and the broader understanding that people can just be plain contentious. Last Shabbat, Michael Weinberger died. Michael was the beloved former president of Central Synagogue, and at his funeral and Shiva, many stories were told about him and his remarkable life. When he was president, Michael navigated a period of significant conflict about what the leadership of our community should look like. During this time, there were more than a number of members who were very angry and treating each other poorly. The strain on our community got to the point where a separate group of congregants challenged the existing board of trustees. And Michael and the existing board made the remarkable decision to allow the membership of this congregation to vote to continue the current board's term of service, or to vote to elect the alternate slate to become the new board of trustees. While Michael disagreed with the positions of the people on the opposite side, he maintained respect for them. Votes were cast, and the existing board was reelected. Victory for Michael. But soon after, Michael did something extraordinary. He offered a seat on the board of trustees to one of the leaders of the opposing slate. Instead of rejecting the other side, he drew them close. Michael's gentle soul, clear and steady guidance, and respect for his fellow congregants, and the equally extraordinary willingness of those from the other side to accept the decision of this congregation to eschew contempt, remain members, move forward, and accept Michael's offer of a position on the board was critical in our community's healing process. The Hamish, loving Central Synagogue we know today is in part connected to the impressive way this crisis was resolved. What happened here at Central 3 decades ago echoes themes found in the 3,000-year-old stories of our Torah, including in this week's portion, Vayigash. This is the 3rd part of the Joseph saga, and it opens with Joseph as the second in command in Egypt, having the option to take revenge upon his brothers who 20 years previously had sold him into slavery. Last week's portion ended in a cliffhanger fashion. Joseph created an elaborate test, and this week That test results in his brothers demonstrating that they have changed. One, Judah, even offers to imprison himself in exchange for his fellow brother Benjamin. And upon seeing this, Joseph makes the choice to relinquish his anger. Seeing that his brothers have changed, he forgives them. He reveals himself as Joseph and reunites with them and his elderly father Jacob. The only Jewish people in existence at the time, Joseph and his brothers reconcile, and they go on to flourish in the land of Egypt for 400 years, multiplying in such great numbers until there arises a Pharaoh that did not know Joseph. Now, Joseph was well within his right to jettison and punish his brothers, and I might add that the leadership of our synagogue could have ostracized the minority of members who disagreed with the majority. The brothers could have also chosen to separate from Joseph, and the minority here at Central could have built that second shul that made it into the joke that I opened up with. But to everyone's credit, they sought something bigger than revenge and separation. Their eyes were on the prize of creating a functional family, on creating a healthy synagogue, and no doubt we are the better for it. How easy it is for me to retell this important story from our synagogue's history and this moving chapter from our Torah. How difficult it can be for those of us living out issues of conflict in our community, in our families, in our nation, to choose the path that our membership and Joseph and his brothers did years ago. It takes courage, even chutzpah, to keep ourselves from getting lost in anger and hatred. Instead, our tradition urges us to create bonds of caring connection within the worlds that we inhabit, bonds which family and society can rest upon with confidence because we have chosen to mutually prioritize understanding and respect for each other despite our mistakes and our differences. This is a vision our world needs more than ever, and we can do our part in making it so. Let us start by being open to other people's opinions, even if we disagree. Let us start by apologizing for our wrongs and forgiving each other. Let us start by committing ourselves to treating each other with dignity, and let us start by finding ways to heal our wounds, support those who are struggling, and protect those who are in danger. And I know so many of us are doing this. And let us continue, for our friends, my friends, this is no joke. Our world is counting on us.